Hello, good morning, good morning, good morning. I'm here on the way again, your regular host on eschatology. God bless you. Yeah, today there's something very, very important that I have to bring to your notice. Yes, very, very important from the scripture. Now, remember the period we are on the series of the millennium, and during the millennium, I spoke concerning the judgment of the two nations, which I treated separately. Now, when I was treating on the judgment of the two nations, I make mention of two signs in heaven. Remember, two signs. I read the book of Revelation, chapter 12. Okay, we're going to start from there before I take you straight to where I am taking you to. Okay? Come with me to the book of Revelation 12. Now let's see the signs which I brought before you during the discussion on the two nations, the judgment of the two nations. Then let's take it from there before we get properly into what I'm about to bring to your knowledge. Okay, I read from verse 1 of chapter 12. It says, "And there appeared a great wonder in heaven." Now, this heaven is not referring to the third heaven where God is, okay? Now, there appear a great wonder in heaven, the heavens. A woman clothed with the sun and the moon under her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars. Now, this sign represents the Israelites and the Jews, okay? Remember the dream that Joseph had about the moon, the sun, and 11 stars, okay? Excluding him because he was the one having the dream. With him making 12, okay? Remember. Now, that 11 stars, including him that make it 12 stars, and the moon and the sun is exactly the sign here, okay? It's exactly what this sign is talking about, referring to the same meaning of what the dream that Joseph had meant, okay? Now, referring to the 12 tribes of Israel. The 12 stars here refer to the 12 tribes of Israel. Now, these are the signs that appears, okay? Remember I said the woman herself represents Israel. And that is the reason why the dragon went ahead to persecute her, because from Israel came Jesus. Now look at what happened. Let's continue. Verse 3. Another sign again. Now, the first sign, remember, he said, "And she being with a child travailing in birth and pained to be delivered." Now, that child is Jesus Christ, because Jesus came from Israel. Now comes another sign. "And there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and 7 crowns upon his head." This is another sign. Okay, I want to go in details for now concerning the 7 heads and 10 horns. Okay, that is another day of discussion. But let's see. Let's look at the dragon itself. Our focus is on that dragon. Now, verse 4. "And he stayed through the third part of the stars of heaven, and did cast them to the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman which was ready to be delivered, to devour her child as soon as it was born." Are you following? "And she brought forth a male child, who was to rule all nations with a rod of iron, and her child was caught up unto God and to his throne. And the woman fled into the wilderness, where she had a place prepared of God, that they should feed her there 1,203 scores." Following, just follow. 1,203 scores, meaning 3.5 years. Okay, now these were the two signs I used explain the judgment of the two nations. Okay, the two nations, how it happened. Okay, remember, get back to my broadcast on two types of nation, then you will get the full discussion on it. But that is not where I'm going again today. I'm going somewhere. Okay, now let's see again in that same chapter. Let's read from verse 7, okay, to 9. Let's read from verse 7 to 9. That is exactly where I'm going. Okay, I read. And there was war in heaven. Now, two signs have already appeared. We've known what that means. Now, where I'm going is from verse 7. And there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon. And the dragon fought and his angels. Now, what I'm about to discuss with you today is the war in heaven. Now, too many have believed, or seems to have believed, that this war had already taken place. This war was the war that happened when Lucifer sinned against God in heaven, and there was war in heaven, and Lucifer was cast out from heaven. No. Now, this very war is what they are using. This verse of the chapter 12 of Revelation is what they are using to describe that there was war in heaven. That this was the war that happened in heaven. No, this war never happened yet. In fact, there was no war when Lucifer sinned against God. There was no war. In fact, Lucifer was in charge of the whole earth before he sinned. He was on earth as at that time. He was in the place of his duty when he has the thought that produced that sin. He said, I will rise above the hills to the mountain, then be like God. Now, it was his thought. He was thinking of it. What he did, that sin was as a result of his thought. Then he was corrupted. God kicked him out. He just kicked him out. And he never stepped into third heaven again from the day he sinned. Now, he wasn't like when he sinned in heaven, there was war. Angel Michael and his angel needed to pull him by force out of heaven. That was not what happened. And this scripture is not referring to that. This scripture of verse 7 has not happened yet. When it would happen, when it will be thrown out of heaven, not from the third heaven, from his domain. Now, the devil is not dwelling on earth at this minute. His domain, his kingdom is still in the heavenlies, not in the third heaven. In the heavenlies, that is where his domain is. That is where he's ruling. The Bible says the wickedness in high places. That is where he rules. Some people thought the devil is in the is in Indian Ocean, is in the sea. That is where he is. When the battle happened in heaven, when the war happened, he was kicked out and he was thrown into the deep sea. No, he's not in the sea. There are other demonic activities and angelic beings, demons that are in the sea. But not the dragon himself, not the devil himself. The devil himself still resides in the heavens. That is where his kingdom. He sees the kingdoms in the heavens. But the time will come, he will be thrown out of that kingdom. And he will come down to the earth. When he will come down to the earth, that is when he will be very, very angry to go after the Jews, to persecute them. That will be 3.5 years. The second half of the 7 great tribulations. And we won't be here when that will happen. So that was where Revelation 12:7 is talking about. It says, and there was war in heaven, not in third heaven, in heavens. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and dragon fought his angel. Verse 8. And prevailed not, neither was their place found anymore in heaven. So the dragon, the devil prevailed not, their place was not found anymore in heaven. Verse 9. And the great dragon was cast out of the heavens. That old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceived the whole world, he was cast out into the earth. Can you see? Into the earth. And his angels were cast out with him. He was never residing on earth, neither was he residing in the sea. His domain, his kingdom is still in the air. Remember, when God sent Angel Michael to come and give an answer to Daniel, where was he withheld? In the air, not in the sea. So the kingdom of the dragon, the kingdom of Satan himself, is still in the heavens. So Angel Gabriel couldn't pass. So they withhold him for 21 days before Angel Michael came, and Angel Gabriel was able to leave and come and deliver the message to Daniel. Now I'm using that to show to you that the presence of this dragon, the kingdom of this dragon, is still in the air, not in this world, but it will be thrown down, it will be dethroned. The second half of the 7 years, which is the 3.5 years, when Angel Michael will carry war against this dragon, which is the devil, and it will be thrown down to the earth. Now let's read more and see exactly what happened next. Let's read from verse 12 to 13. After he has been thrown down from the heavens, when he was thrown down, remember the two signs. Okay, the second one I was talking about, the dragon, when he discovered that the woman gave birth to the male child, and he went after the child and he couldn't get the child. And what happened? He went after the woman. Now let's see what happened next from verse 12 to 13. It says, therefore rejoice, ye heavens. He's not referring to the third heaven where God is. Ye heavens, the heavenlings. He said, rejoice, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he had but a short time. And this short time is 3.5 years. He said, the heavens should rejoice. He said, woe to the inhabitants of the earth. The devil has been thrown down here. Now let's read that verse 13. He said, and when the dragon saw that he was cast onto the earth, he persecuted the woman, Israel, the Jews, which brought forth the male child. He persecuted the Jews. This was when the persecution of the Jews was very, very severe. The second half of the 7 years. So the war in heaven that you have read about from Revelation 12, verse 7, has not taken place yet. It's a war that will happen after we have gone out of this earth, after the rapture. And while we are in heaven, then the second half of the 7 great tribulation years will be when, the beginning of the second half will be when this war will take place in the heavens. At that time, we are already in heaven with God, the third heaven. And this battle will take place and the devil will be thrown down. And that is what that verse is talking about. Verse 7 of chapter 12 of Revelation. The war in heaven. And I believe this information is well passed to you and it is well understood. They are coming again your way to bring further clarification and insight into this discussion. Till then, my name, Prince Gabriel Obarishua. Thank you.